You'll probably ignore this, but that's exactly why you need to watch. Most people toss these, spend these, or overlook these. But these wheat pennies are rare hidden treasure and could change everything if you notice it. Because the truth is, the most valuable finds are rarely obvious, especially when it comes to wheat pennies. They don't shine differently, and they definitely don't stand out at first glance. In fact, most of them look old, worn, and easy to ignore. And that's exactly why they slip through unnoticed. Wheat pennies were once everywhere, passing through millions of hands without a second thought. But today, certain ones have become incredibly collectible, not because they look special, but because of tiny details most people never check. A small mint mark, a slightly different date, a subtle variation in the design. These are the things collectors pay attention to. While most people are busy spending their change, others are quietly searching, flipping each coin, looking for that one detail that sets it apart. Because once you know what to look for, everything changes. That ordinary penny in your hand, it's no longer just spare change. It's a possibility. And the next time you come across a wheat penny, don't be so quick to spend it. Because the one you overlook today might be the one you wish you kept tomorrow. Coin number 1. Now listen to me very carefully because what I'm about to tell you could completely change the way you look at the pennies sitting quietly in your home, your pockets, or even that old jar you've been keeping for years. That small, seemingly ordinary 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark may appear like just another old coin, something you might toss aside or spend without a second thought. But in reality, it could be far more valuable than you ever imagined. Most people don't see it for what it truly is. They see just a penny. But collectors, they hunt for it. They recognize its rarity, and they would pay incredible amounts of money to get their hands on the right one. The story of a 1944 wheat penny, without a mint mark, begins with the U.S. Mint during World War II. In 1943, pennies were made from steel coated with zinc because copper was needed for the war effort. By 1944, the mint returned to copper, but the transition wasn't perfect. Some leftover steel planchets from 1943 accidentally got mixed in with 1944 pennies. That's right. Tiny mistakes during production created one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in American history. Some of these coins have no mint mark at all, making them especially intriguing to collectors. When you hold a 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark, it may look like any other penny at first glance. But the truth is, there's so much more happening beneath the surface. The coin's color, weight, and even magnetic properties can provide clues about its true value. Copper coins should have a warm reddish-brown tone, while steel or zinc planchets may appear silvery. Small details, like how sharply the lines on Lincoln's bust or the wheat stalks on the reverse appear, can also make a massive difference in value. Coins that are well preserved with little wear and strong details are incredibly rare because most pennies were circulated and handled extensively. Errors make this coin even more fascinating. Double die strikes, off-center strikes, or planchet errors can instantly elevate a penny from a simple collectible to a high-value treasure. Even subtle anomalies that most people would completely miss can make a 1944 wheat penny, without a mint mark, worth thousands of dollars. And while many people might casually glance at their coins, true collectors spend hours examining each one. Because sometimes the smallest difference can mean the difference between a few cents and tens of thousands of dollars. Historical significance also plays a huge role. This coin isn't just old, it's a symbol of a pivotal time in U.S. history. It represents the post-World War II transition and the ingenuity and mistakes of the U.S. Mint. Each coin carries a story in its metal and design. From the intricate lines of the wheat stalks to the detailed engraving of Lincoln's bust, these coins are small pieces of history that have survived decades, carrying with them the stories of the people who used them and the time they were made in. If you're examining your own coins, here's what you need to know. Look at the metal composition carefully. A simple magnet test can help identify a steel or zinc planchet. Observe the color under good lighting, and pay attention to any unusual markings, inconsistencies, or errors. Look closely at the date and design, and check for wear or damage. Even a penny that looks ordinary could be hiding extraordinary value, especially if it's from 1944 and lacks a mint mark. Condition is everything. Coin collectors use a grading system to determine the quality of a coin. A coin with clear, crisp details, minimal wear, and original luster is considered high grade. Coins in high-grade condition are incredibly rare because so many pennies have been circulated and handled over the years. Even a small scratch or worn detail can significantly affect value. But a well-preserved 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark can fetch an incredible price because collectors are constantly searching for examples in top condition. The rarity and desirability of this coin have made it one of the most sought after in American numismatics. Collectors know that millions of 1944 pennies were minted, but only a fraction of them exist in excellent condition without a mint mark or with notable errors. That scarcity creates demand, which drives prices higher and higher. Now, here's the part that really should get your attention. One of these 1944 wheat pennies without a mint mark, specifically a rare error version, has reached an unbelievable price at auction. The highest recorded sale for this coin is $185,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single penny worth $185,000. That's more than most people earn in an entire lifetime, all for a coin that most people would glance at and dismiss as worthless. This is why it's so important to examine your coins carefully. What looks ordinary to the untrained could be a hidden treasure worth a fortune. So, if you find a 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark, do not spend it, do not toss it aside, and do not ignore it. Take the time to examine it closely, check for errors, assess its condition, and even consult with a professional if needed. This is not just a coin, it is a rare piece of history, a collector's dream, and potentially a life-changing treasure. Every detail matters, from the color to the minting details to any errors or imperfections. Pay attention, because the world of coin collecting is full of hidden opportunities. Millions of coins circulate every year, and among them, a few hold incredible value, often sitting unnoticed in pockets, jars, or drawers. The 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark is one of those coins. With careful observation and a bit of knowledge, you could discover that you're holding more than just a penny. You could be holding $185,000 in your hand, or at least a coin that could fetch tens of thousands of dollars if it's in the right condition. So, never underestimate the value of the coins you already own. Look at the date, check the mint mark, inspect the metal, and pay attention to small details. A simple penny could be a silent fortune waiting to be discovered. The 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark is more than just an old coin. It's a treasure, a piece of history, and a rare collector's item that continues to amaze and inspire those who take the time to look closely. Coin number 2. Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, a coin so small, so ordinary, that most people wouldn't even bother picking up off the ground, and yet that same coin could be worth more than a luxury car, more than years of savings, even life-changing money. Right now, across the United States, people are unknowingly spending coins that are not just currency, but hidden treasures. Coins that look completely normal on the surface, but carry extraordinary value beneath. And the most shocking part is, these coins are still out there, still circulating, still being overlooked every single day. And today, we're focusing on one of those powerful hidden treasures, the 1951 wheat penny with the D mint mark. At first glance, it doesn't stand out. It's a small copper coin, slightly worn from time, maybe darkened, maybe scratched. It looks like something that's been sitting in a jar for years, something you'd spend without a second thought. But that's exactly why this coin is so important. Because the truth is, value doesn't always look valuable. The D mint mark on this coin tells us it was produced at the Denver Mint. And while millions of these coins were made, very few have survived in the kind of condition that collectors are searching for today. Over decades, most of these pennies were heavily used. They passed through countless hands, endured wear and tear, and slowly lost their original detail and shine. That's what separates an ordinary coin from an extraordinary one. Collectors aren't just looking for any 1951 D wheat penny. They're searching for the rare survivors, the coins that somehow escaped heavy circulation. The coins that still have sharp details in Lincoln's portrait, clear, defined wheat stalks on the reverse, and that original mint luster that most coins lose over time. Now, take a closer look in your mind. Imagine the lines in Lincoln's hair still visible, the cheek not completely worn flat, the lettering bold and strong. Flip the coin over, the wheat ears still sharp, the lines still crisp. That's the kind of detail that transforms a simple penny into something valuable. And then comes one of the biggest factors of all, color. A 1951 D-wheat penny can appear in brown, red-brown, or full red. And this is where things start to get serious. Brown coins are common. Red-brown coins are better. But full, red coins? That's where collectors compete. A full red coin still has its original copper brilliance, almost like it just left the mint decades ago. It hasn't been heavily exposed to air or handling. It's been preserved, protected, and kept away from the damage that affects most coins. And that level of preservation is rare. Extremely rare. But there's another layer most people never think about, minting variations and subtle errors. Tiny differences in the way the coin was struck. Slight doubling in the lettering. Minor imperfections that happened during production. To the average person, these might look like flaws, but to collectors, they're signatures, proof that the coin is unique. And uniqueness adds value. Now imagine this scenario. You're going through a jar of old coins at home. Maybe it's been sitting there for years. Maybe you inherited it. You start sorting through the pennies, not expecting anything special, and then you see it. You turn it over, and there it is, the small D mint mark. At that moment, you're holding something most people would ignore, but something that could be worth far more than you ever imagined. This is why coin collectors are always searching, always checking, always paying attention to the smallest details, because they understand something most people don't. Hidden value is everywhere. It's in the coins people overlook. It's in the details people ignore. It's in the history people forget. The 1951 D-wheat penny is more than just a coin. It's a survivor of time. A piece of history that has traveled through decades, passed from hand to hand, and somehow, in rare cases, remained almost untouched. And when one of those rare, high-quality examples surfaces, it changes everything, because in the world of collecting, condition is everything. A worn coin might only be worth a small premium, but a coin with sharp detail, original luster, and that bright red color, that's when the value begins to climb. That's when collectors start paying attention. That's when auctions become competitive. And this is where reality becomes almost unbelievable. Because while most people see a 1-cent coin, collectors see potential. They see rarity. They see something worth chasing. And when the right coin appears, the results can be shocking. One extraordinary example of the 1951 wheat penny, with a D mint mark, reached an incredible auction price of $290,000, proving that even the smallest, most ordinary-looking coin can become a life-changing discovery under the right conditions. So, before you spend another penny, stop. Take a closer look. Check the date. Look for that D mint mark. Study the details, the color, the condition. Because what seems like an ordinary coin today could be something extraordinary tomorrow. And in a world where people are constantly searching for opportunities, sometimes the greatest treasure isn't something you have to find somewhere else. It's already in your pocket. Coin number 3. What if I told you that a single penny, something most people wouldn't even think twice about, could be worth more than a brand new car, more than a down payment on a house, even enough to change a life? Right now, all across the United States, people are unknowingly spending coins that are not just pennies, but silent fortunes, hidden treasures that collectors are desperately searching for. Coins that look ordinary, worn, and completely unremarkable, but are actually some of the most valuable pieces in American numismatic history. And today, we're talking about one of the most fascinating and valuable of them all, the 1953 wheat penny with a D mint mark. At first glance, this coin looks ordinary. Small, copper-colored, slightly darkened with age, maybe a little scratched, possibly showing signs of wear from decades of circulation. To the casual observer, it's just another penny, something that might be tossed aside, ignored, or spent without a second thought. But that is exactly why it is so extraordinary. Because behind that unassuming surface lies a story of history, rarity, preservation, and collector demand that transforms an ordinary penny into a potential treasure. The D mint mark indicates that this penny was produced at the Denver Mint. In 1953, millions of these coins were struck, on paper that might make it seem common. But here's the truth. Numbers alone do not determine value. What really matters is condition, survival, and collector interest. Most 1953 D wheat pennies spent decades in circulation. They were handled countless times, dropped, scratched, exposed to air and moisture, and gradually lost their original details and sharpness. Over time, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln could become smooth, the reverse wheat stalks could fade, and the coin's original shine could disappear completely. That's what makes surviving high-grade examples so rare. Collectors aren't just looking for a coin with the right date or mint mark. They're looking for a coin that escaped heavy circulation, a coin that retains sharp detail, clarity, and luster. Take a close look at Lincoln's portrait. Are the details in his hair visible? Is the jawline defined? Are the features crisp? Then examine the wheat stalks on the reverse. Are they clear and well-defined or flattened and worn? These details are critical, and even small differences can dramatically affect a coin's value. Another major factor is color. A 1953 D wheat penny may appear in brown, red-brown, or full red. Brown coins have been exposed to oxidation and handling. Red-brown coins are partially preserved, while full red coins retain almost all of their original copper brilliance. A full red penny is the ultimate prize for collectors. Its vibrant color and preserved surface are evidence that it has been carefully stored, protected, and untouched for decades. These are the coins that dominate auctions and sell for extraordinary amounts. But there's more. Hidden within some coins are rare minting errors and subtle variations that can further elevate value. Minor doubling in the lettering, slight off-center strikes, or tiny differences in the coin's shape can make a penny stand out to collectors and increase its worth exponentially. These small imperfections are not flaws. They are proof that the coin is unique. And in the world of numismatics, uniqueness can mean extraordinary value. Now imagine this scenario. You're going through a jar of old coins, perhaps inherited from a family member, stored in a drawer for years, or tucked away in a forgotten piggy bank. You sift through the coins, thinking nothing of them. When suddenly you spot a 1953 penny, you notice the D mint mark, and suddenly the ordinary-looking coin in your hand could be worth far more than you ever imagined. This is exactly why coin roll hunting has grown in popularity. People across the country are digging through rolls of pennies, searching for overlooked treasures like this one. Because hidden within everyday change could be a coin that is rare, preserved, and highly sought after. The 1953 D wheat penny represents a perfect storm of factors that collectors crave. It has historical significance, a limited number of surviving high-grade specimens, and the potential for unique variations that make each coin slightly different from the next. Its story is one of survival. While millions were minted, relatively few remain in exceptional condition today. Those that do are constantly being sought, studied, and collected. Every detail matters, every scratch, every color variation, every line of detail, it all affects value. Collectors know this. That's why they examine coins under magnification, carefully studying every aspect of the piece. They understand that a seemingly ordinary penny can hide extraordinary value. And this is where reality becomes almost unbelievable. While most people see a 1-cent coin, collectors see history, rarity, and potential. When a perfect combination of date, mint mark, color, condition, and unique characteristics comes together, the results are astonishing. One exceptional example of the 1953 wheat penny with D mint mark recently reached an astonishing auction price of $249,000, proving that even a small, overlooked penny can become a life-changing discovery when the right conditions align. Think about that. A coin that once bought almost nothing, now worth nearly $250,000. And yet, despite its value, coins like this are still out there, often sitting in jars, drawers, or forgotten collections, waiting to be discovered. So before you spend another penny, slow down. Examine your coins. Check the date. Look for that D mint mark. Notice the color, the detail, the condition. Because what seems like an ordinary coin today could be something extraordinary tomorrow. In the world of coin collecting, the greatest treasures are often hiding in plain sight, and sometimes the next hidden fortune is already in your hands. The 1953 D-Wheat penny isn't just a coin. It's history, rarity, and wealth rolled into one. And if you take the time to look closely, study your coins, and learn what to watch for, you could be the next person to discover a hidden fortune in something as ordinary as a single penny. Because in this world, value often hides where you least expect it. And now you know where to look. And that's exactly why wheat pennies still matter today. Most people will keep ignoring them, spending them without a second thought, never realizing what might be sitting right in their hands. But now you know better. Now you know that even the smallest coin can carry hidden history, rarity, and value that others completely overlook. So, the next time you see a wheat penny, don't rush past it. Take a second look, because that single moment of attention could make all the difference. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with others so they don't miss out either. And make sure to comment below if you've ever found a rare coin in your change. We'd love to hear your story. Also, before you go, don't forget to watch my previous video on Jefferson Nickels, because you might be missing out on something just as valuable without even knowing it. Stay alert and keep checking your change, because the next hidden treasure could be yours.